Hello everyone, here's Data is the King. We're going to talk about the May job report in the US that's showing the unemployment rate of May is 13.3%. It's down from April's number at 14.7%. That's a pretty good news, right? But immediately people find out there's a misclassification error happened in this report, and the actual unemployment rate is 3% higher than the data showed in this report. So, wow, come on. This is such a critical report, and you miss the number by 3%. Come on, man. This is crazy, right? Today we're just going to look at this incident and trying to see what we can learn from this problem. All right. Let's go to the news first, right? Let's try to figure out what's happening over there. This is a report from the Washington Post. A misclassification error made the May unemployment rate look better than it is. Here's what happened. Okay, let's go through the news, right? Okay, what do we have here? Okay, there's a misclassification error. The overall unemployment rate would have been about 3% point higher, so which would be 16.3% for me. But that would still be an improvement from an unemployment rate of about 19.7% of April. Okay, applying the same standard. Okay, that's good. Look good. And all right, what's more here? Um, blah blah blah. Okay, here's the reason. Okay, so the BLS admitted that some people who should have been classified as temporary unemployment during the shutdown were instead misclassified as unemployed, but absent from work for other reasons. Wow, really? Okay, here's the explanation for the other reasons. All right. So basically, it's obvious. Okay. So some people who is temporarily unemployment was misclassified as employed. Okay, that's why these numbers is a little bit lower than it actually should be. Then let's look at how could that happen, right? Uh, let's see. Okay. Economists said the big takeaway is that it's hard to collect the real-time data during a pandemic, and that while the unemployment rate remained high. Wow, you said it's hard to collect real-time data? Come on, that's your job, right? Don't tell me you failed something because it's hard to do, right? You just screw it up. Okay, no excuse. This is totally bullshit. Um, okay, here's the thing. Okay, what did they do? Okay, they do some blah blah survey to people. Um, one of the first questions that got asked is, did the person do any work for pay or profit? Then 45 pages of follow-up questions that come after that. And one of those questions asked if someone was temporarily absent from the job and why that absence occurred. One of the response is other. 45 pages, man. Are you going to do a 45 pages survey? Seriously? Let's say what's this survey, what's the content here? I'm opening the survey. Wow, it's a 45-page PDF. Okay, I'm trying to search temporarily absent. Okay, here's a question. Okay, the week before last week, in addition to the business name, have a job, either full or part-time. Okay, include any job from which was temporarily absent. Okay, you choose yes or no, retired, disabled, unable to work. Okay, so this is a problem. Okay, this is the question the people claim that caused this issue. Is in the page 3 of a 45 pages survey. Okay, all right. And they further explain that to classify them as on temporary layoff mean that would count in the unemployment date, but some people continue to insist they were just absent from work during the pandemic. And the BLS has a policy not changing people's answer once they are recorded. Okay, of course you don't change people's answer, but anybody who is facing a 45 pages long survey, how could they know what they're doing, right? They just look at the questions and answer the questions. That's it. They are not the person who should be responsible to categorize or classify whether they are employment, whether they are underemployment or unemployment, right? This is your job. I would say the labor department, right, or whatever Bureau of Labor Statistics, right? So that's your job, right? You don't blame people answer the question wrong, right? You should get blamed because you didn't categorize people into the right category when the answer is true, right? Of course you should not change the answer, but that's not the excuse. That's not the excuse. You categorize people, right? That's simple. All right. Okay. So how could this happen? How could this happen? This is totally chaos, right? I would like to say, all right, that's just my guess. That's just my guess. Back 3 months back, January, February, when before this epidemic, right? There's no such thing like a temporary layoff, temporary unemployment, right? Like who is temporary unemployment? Very few, right? In a normal business circumstance. But when epidemic come in, right? A lot of people, a lot of small businesses just shut down. They cannot keep on doing business anymore. Then people are under temporary unemployment. So technically, they are still working for that business. Like for example, restaurant, right? The restaurant are not allowed to open during epidemic. So they just shut down. They close the door. All the employees go home, stay there. But once we're allowed to open the economy, we're allowed to open all those restaurants, those people will come back, work for the restaurant, and they got employment again. Okay, so before epidemic, there's very very rare cases like that. So people probably even didn't pay attention about that, right? Um, if you look at number, I don't have that exact number on my hand, but I would expect that number would be very low, very small, right? Then when this epidemic came in, more and more people will fall into temporary unemployment, right? Then that's a big problem if you miscategorized people in those categories, right? So then it's a big problem, right? You have a large portion of the people they should be unemployed, but you categorize them as employed. Then that's a big problem. I saw this number somewhere that's around 1 million people over there, right? Maybe 3 months back, it's just, I don't know, a few thousand people. You really don't care when the unemployment rate is just 3%, right? So it's really not there. So this could be a reason people just ignored or like missed this misclassification issue. So and now when this group, temporarily unemployment group, growing bigger and bigger, people find out, wow, there's a big issue over there, right? So um, how can we avoid this kind of situation happen? How could we avoid that? So first, you need to define the metrics very well. You need to define the metrics well. All right. Let's go to look at the actual report of Bureau from Bureau of Labor Statistics. Okay. Here's a report. It's a 42-page long report. Again, it's same thing like a 45, similar thing to a 45-page long survey. All right, it's crazy. So, all right, there's two charts at the very beginning showing the unemployment rate month by month. Okay, that's good. But the first thing is, the first question I have is, okay, if you are talking about unemployment rate, right? What's the definition of unemployment rate? Where's the definition? So I'm trying to find out the unemployment rate definition from this report. Unfortunately, I cannot find it. Seriously, okay? Try by yourself. This is a public file you can download from a website. I just don't know where to find the definition of unemployment rate, okay? So that's why, first of all, the most important thing is to define your metrics very well, okay? If you don't define the metrics, people would misunderstood the metrics or do something wrong based on wrong assumption, okay? So I searched, here's a web version of the report, okay? I'm trying to go through all those text here and find out the definition. So I do find something relevant in employment situation technical note. Okay. All right. That's hidden somewhere. Okay. Here we go. People are classified as unemployment if they meet all of the following criteria. Okay, they had no employment during the reference week. They were available for work at that time, and they made specific active efforts to find employment sometime during the 4-week period ending with the reference week. Okay, here's the most important thing, right? Persons laid off from a job and expecting recall need not be looking for work to be counted as unemployment. Come on, you have this defined, right? You have this defined here. How could people not understood this issue? How could people make the mistake, right? So I don't know. I don't know. It's a mess. It's a chaos. But at least from the reporting standpoint, right? When you look at this report, you don't have this definition defined well at the very beginning. So people actually don't understand. Okay, I have to search the website and find it somewhere. So that's not good. That's not good. Okay, and actually, when you look at the Q&A, frequently asked question, okay, I found something more interesting. So basically, that's the page when people asking a lot of questions. Sorry, the page is loading and it's not coming up. Let me try to open it again. Okay, it's loading. Anyway, so people asked a bunch of questions about the definition over there, and they have to explain it in very detail here and there. What is employment? What's unemployment rate, right? So why don't you just put a very simple definition up front, right? In my mind, to make things simple, right? To make people understand this scenario easily. Why don't just like use a standard simple rule like whoever is working and getting paid, that's employed. Otherwise, it's not, right? It's simple, right? If you are working and you get paid, right? Or like if you are in a contract with some employer, you are in an employment relationship, right? If you define the metrics simpler and easier, you have less chance to make a mistake later on, right? As simple as that. Okay. So people also speculating if this data get manipulated, right? If you look at the news here, right? People are trying to explain, the person trying to explain here, oh, you can 100% discount the possibility that Trump got to the BLS, not 98% discount, not 99.9% discount, but 100% discount. Okay, Jason Furman, the former top economist for the former president Barack Obama, or whatever. Okay, so to get, if somebody really want to manipulate the data, okay, there's two ways, right? One way, you don't manipulate the raw data, right? The raw data is still whatever it is. You just when you summarize, when you categorize the data, right? You intentionally make mistakes here and there, right? Try to make the data look better. I would say that's a stupid way to manipulate data, right? It's more like if you are a murderer, you kill somebody, you left your fingerprint everywhere in the scene, and you went to the police station and tell the police saying that, hey, I didn't kill that person, but all the proofs are in the scene. You're not covering it up by any means. So it's a stupid way to manipulate it because people will just find out immediately, like what we already found out as of today. There's no way you can hide the truth, right? The second way is you manipulate data from the foundation, like when all those workers going out to do the survey, right? You somehow trying to I don't know, bribe or corrupt some of the workers, and when some people saying, yeah, I'm unemployed, you write it down, employed, right? You just crack down the data from the bottom, from the foundation, and you are trying to, fake the data somehow from the very beginning. So when people look at a report, when they count everything, they cannot find out what's wrong, right? Because the raw data, the source data, is not true, and it's hard to find out from the data check. But you think about from other standpoint, right? You basically need to buy a large group of people in the workforce and ask them to change the data. It's a hard thing to coordinate, right? To persuade or buy hundreds of people to manipulate the data. I just feel that's like hard to do. Okay, so for any means, I feel this incident is less likely to be data manipulation. It's more like data error. Okay, so the last question is how to read the data, right? The data is wrong. When people first saw the news, people will think, wow, crazy, data is wrong, we cannot trust the report. Okay, it's not necessary, right? According to the Washington Post news, this problem started in March when there was a big jump in people claiming they were temporarily absent from work for other reasons. Okay, so this problem exists there for a long time. since March. Okay, so if we fix all the problem in the data, the actual April's unemployment rate would be 19.7%. Not 14.7%, that's a 5% difference over there, even bigger, right? So then today's number would be something like a 16.3%. That's still 3% down from last month. So it won't change the fact that May is better than April, right? But it just told us something that you should keep your metrics definition consistently, right? Otherwise, it's hard to let people trust your data and read any meaningful uh, uh, conclusion from the data, right? So here's a good example, right? Because the definition is somehow changed because of an error, and people just lose trust of your data. And people have speculation saying that, hey, you are manipulating the data, right? So that's how you should read the data, to be honest. It didn't change a lot stuff, but it do cause a PR disaster over there. All right. So at last, I want to say something about this report, this 45 page, 42 pages report. So if I am in charge of this this entire thing, I'm the commander or whatever, I'm the person who is responsible to present data to everybody. I will fire the person who write this report. To be honest, I will fire the person who wrote the report. It's a disaster, right? Look at the report. Okay, there's two charts here. Okay, then text everywhere, some big table, giant table, Q&A. Wow. Okay, there's no easy way to understand the report unless you read through everything. Yeah, if I can rewrite, if I had the opportunity to rewrite the this report, I would just summarize everything in high level, very simple way, with 1 page or 2 pages chart, graphs to show how things is trending on, and highlight the key readout from this report, and of course add the definition of all the metrics I need to explain here very clearly upfront. Okay, just 1 page or 2 pages, right? And you can add the rest of the data, all the 40 pages data later. Okay, when people are interested about specific data, they can go and check it out. But to explain the employment situation, keep it short. Okay, keep it short, keep it simple, define your metrics well, use graph and chart as much as possible, because that's the easiest way for people to understand the situation. Okay, and all right, that's what I learned from this May unemployment data incident. What do you think? Feel free to leave your comments on the video, and would love to discuss with you guys about this. All right, so here's what I have today. Wish you like this video, and see you next time. Love and peace.